Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, homeowners of all ages, this is your man Mark at William Penn Renovation. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, and that's building decks. But more specifically, we're going to talk about decking finish options. Okay? Very quickly. This is Mother Nature's brand. Pressure treated Southern Yellow Pine. This is known as a 5/4 eased edge deck floorboard. This happens to be a #1 grade premium. There are no visible big knots or, imperfections. Well, I shouldn't say that. But this is a #1 deck board, and this is about as nice as they get. If you were to use this or natural cedar, they're going to look very similar. Natural cedar is going to be twice as expensive and harder to find, but they're going to be similar. This piece of wood, before we install it on your house, now this is an option, but most people, I try to get them to take the option. We will sand it and seal it with a natural oil penetrating sealer. We do not use water-based anything outside, certainly not on a floor. We don't need to talk about that, but whatever. Oil, because it sinks into the wood, it emulsifies it, and it repels precipitation. That does not make it waterproof, because almost no coating will make this waterproof. Now, Mother Nature's brand, okay? I can do so many things with this. We could build you outdoor kitchens, bars, stools, benches, planters, swings, whatever. Trellises, pergolas. I can do anything. And it's affordable. Now, why would you do wood when you could have maybe a composite deck? I mean, if you look at them, they sure do look similar, don't they? Very close, right? This one does not require any maintenance, okay? Because nothing on here is an organic thing. This won't rot, won't twist, won't warp. It's great. It's fantastic. This happens to be TimberTech coconut husk. And even though TimberTech is by no means perfect, and they are a big, ugly, brutal corporation, and I have my own bone to pick with them, they do make good deck boards, and I use them. And I happen to be a registered, what they call like a dealer installer. I have warranty even on the labor work that we do from them. So I'm not saying that they don't do a good job at decking. So this is a really cool option if you don't want to do maintenance. But you are limited, and it's 2.5 times the money that this is. I'm serious. Even their most, and this, listen, I'm calling this a low-end deck board, but this is not low-end by any means. The really low-end board is this. This is United Forest Products. They go under the brand Decorator. But if you look at these two things side by side, I'll move the camera a little bit here. Like, you could see that this is a lot thicker in here than this one is. And I, personally, this is my own personal opinion, I like the fact that there's even though it's clear, there's a bonded primer on the back of this, and there is not one on that. So, to me, this is a superior product. But are these things worth the money that I'm going to have to charge you? Well, this is a complex answer. I would say no. If you're healthy enough to run a paint roller on the end of a pole across your floor and the top of your railing. Period. Because that's all you have to do to keep this forever. I mean, how long are you going to live? It's another thing. Yes, we give you a 50-year warranty. 50. Okay, that's nice. I can tell you, Mother Nature's brand, if you put an oil sealer on this, every couple years, it'll last indefinitely. Here's why. When we think of a wooden deck and all the problems that we could talk about, and believe me, I build them every day, and there's plenty of hassle. But this deck is not built of this. These decks are built of the same lumber this is underneath, and then this is the stuff that you see, okay? So don't think when you get a composite deck that it's a composite deck. Now, they do make composite framing, and if you saw how much money I would have to charge you, you would literally laugh me out of your living room. You'd be like, thanks, Mark, get out. You're talking about the cost of your deck to build is $200 a square foot if I use composite lumber. And it's made by one of my favorite building material places at Owens Corning. It's like fiberglass framing. It's amazing. But I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. And I'm serving the regular middle class of central Pennsylvania. I mean, yes, I have some well-to-do clients, and we do beautiful high-end decking for them. But even these people, I think they would scoff at $200 a square foot for a deck, because it's ridiculous, okay? But this is less than half of any of these things. This is, you're talking somewhere between 40 and maybe $60 a square foot, depending on what we're up to. And here's the thing about using an natural oil penetrating sealer on any wooden surface of your home, if it's on an exterior. And even on the inside, you could use this inside too, okay? There is no film that is developed and then bonded onto wood. This is oil, so it sinks down in, and it displaces or bonds into the wood grains. It doesn't lay on top, and it doesn't cover the wood. This piece of wood is being preserved and emulsified. I like to think of these oil sealers the same way you would think of something like sunscreen or moisturizer that you would put on your skin. You have to think of it in these same terms, because what we want to do is we want to repel moisture. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to form a film over the floor, because if that happens, that film at some point is going to fail, okay? And here's the deal. Not only are you going to have problems where the thing failed, that you could see that it failed, right? Like, okay, there's color missing, something's wrong. But that moisture travels underneath the coating, and then it starts getting into the wood. And now, okay, it's not getting any sun. It's not getting an opportunity to dry. Now, this is what happens. Now it begins to develop microorganisms in the water that's in the wood, and it starts eating. It needs to eat. So it's going to eat your deck. Yes, this is all legit. Look it up if you don't believe me. So the bottom line is, when we use an emulsifier, an oil coating on our deck, it's the same as putting sunscreen on. You know what I'm saying? You apply it, and with your kids, right? You're at the beach, they get shit all over them. Every couple hours, you're like, come here, and you wipe it on them. Well, this is a little different. Every couple years, you got to wipe some stuff on it, and that's it. And there's no application instruction for the oil. You shake it up real good, because there's a little bit of like pigment dye in the oil. Okay, shake it up, but I mean really shake it up, because you want as much color, because it's pretty, whatever. And then you pour it in a roller pan, and take a roller on a pole and roll it. Or take a brush, or pour it into a little sprayer and spray it. It's a goof-proof application. It's sunscreen. You're not going to get brush marks and drips, none of that, because it sinks in, and then what doesn't essentially evaporates, or it just walks off. So, yes, I love this. Not saying it's bad. But if you're like me and you just don't have absurd amounts of scratch, and like I said, we do it at our shop. It can be February. We have a temperature controlled environment. So we take your whole deck into the shop first. We make this happen, okay? We sand it, sometimes twice. These are really nice boards. We don't have to sand these twice. They're premium boards. But the framing, like the outer edges of your deck and stuff, you're going to want them colored. Well, they're not so pretty. So when we bring your material in, we have to sand it, sometimes twice, wipe it, clean it, and then we emulsify with whatever color you choose beforehand. Okay? And that's what William Penn Renovation does when you order one of our decks, and then we come and install it. You know, it's either Fritzy comes or Zach and them guys. But everybody's our guys, and I'm involved in all of it. So, if you'd like a free estimate on having us build you a deck, regardless of the materials that you want to use, or if you'd like us to give you an estimate on refinishing the existing deck that you have, because I can create this same nice, easy finish on your deck if your deck is still in serviceable condition. We come out, we sand, we replace a few boards here and there if you have problems or what have you, but we can rehabilitate a big wood deck instead of you having to go in a hole, 20,000, 50,000, whatever it is to build another deck if it's real big or what have you. You don't have to do that. We can, unless your deck is totally wrecked, shot, we can probably bring it back for a lot less money than building a new one. Okay? So, now that you have this information, here's what I would suggest you do. Sit down with your significant other, if such exists. And if you really love a new outdoor space, or if you have an outdoor space that needs somebody that really is willing to deal with you and it and be patient, and figure out a way to save money, but at the same time, get this work to look right and be right, give us a call. I'm pretty easy to deal with. I'll do whatever you ask me to do, and if it's not doable, I'm going to tell you up front, because the last thing I want to do is disappoint anybody. Because when you're in a small business like ours, disappointment is what crushes you. It kills your whole operation. So we try not to disappoint anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I've been married for 25 years, so I'm accustomed to being judged harshly. Just saying. If you'd like a free estimate, we do appointments 7 days a week, okay? And evenings, mornings, afternoons, doesn't matter. We're happy to meet with you. My phone number is 717-275-6271. We have an 888 number. What is it? 888-924-6999. Our website is WPRCO.com. We're on Facebook, obviously. That's where you're seeing this. Instagram, this, that, all of it, whatever. But give me a call. We're happy to help. Estimates are free, and there's under no circumstances is there any pressure when we come to see you. I am not a television marketing contractor company. I'm a regular human being, and this is how I make a living. Okay? William Penn Renovation, and we appreciate you watching this very long video. Thanks.